Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties, and welcome back to another episode of Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I'm losing it a little bit. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I'm kind of losing my mind just a little bit. So I'm going to use this podcast today, how I think probably a lot of you guys use this podcast. Sure, self-help category of it all. I'm sure some of you guys come here to get like real honest advice, but also like, do some of you guys come here just to kind of like dissociate and have a key with the girls, ignore your problems a little bit and just like have a little laugh? Because that's how I'm going to be using it today. Very much so. Escapism, very much so. Let's dissociate for a little bit until we get back into life, because the universe has been throwing me some curveballs lately, and ones that like low-key I've been expecting, but it's like, damn, you really do make your own bed. Damn, you really do got to learn your own life lessons. Damn, you really do got to make your own decisions in life. So yeah, safe to say that Saturn retrograde is hitting me hard. We'll get into that in a second, but honestly, outside of that, I've had a fairly good week. It's been busy. It's been hot here. My God, literally, there's going to be a high of, I think they said upwards of 120 degrees. Huh? Hello? Oh, and global warming's not real, by the way. What the fuck? Like, it is so insanely hot outside. And the thing about the Midwest, which if you live in the Midwest, I'm sure you already know this, but the humidity gets out of control. In like southern states, it gets hot, but it's a dry heat. With the humidity in the air, it's like you can't breathe. It makes you sweat 10 times as more because there's so much water in the air. It also like dehydrates plants faster because it's pulling more water out of them. It's insane. And there's something called, this is crazy, I'm going to give you a little Midwest tea here. There's something called corn sweat that happens. It's when the corn in the fields, which we grow mainly corn and soybeans out here in Kansas and Missouri, when it reaches its peak like growth cycle, where it's a full-size corn plant, hello, girl, I can't tell you the progestion rate of corn. I'm so sorry. But once it gets to its like full size, full growth where the kernels are fully forming, it starts to release naturally this sweat and moisture, and it makes the humidity level in the air rise so much that it can raise the temperature 10 to 15 degrees. So when I say 120 degrees, 125, 115, whatever, that extra 10, 15, 20 is simply because of the corn sweating. Yeah, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? So, baby, shades drawn. I'm going to be a vampire today. I'm not going outside. I actually went outside yesterday. Me and a friend. Oh, so fun. We went peach picking. We got to go frolic in the fields in the hills of Missouri. We went to this local orchard, which if you're in the Kansas City area, I actually love them down. I go usually twice a year. This was my first time this year, but I'm hoping to get back for apple season in the fall. It's called Weston Orchard. Weston is this cute little tiny farm town up in northern Missouri, and they have this place called Weston Orchard, which they grow different fruits year round. So we went frolicking through the peach trees. We were climbing trees. I don't remember the last time I've climbed a tree. We were smacking them down off the tree. It was so fun, and I got a ton of really good peaches, which are already ripe. I need to go figure out what I'm baking and doing with them ASAP. That's probably gonna be my afternoon activity. We had some little strawberry slushes. We went to a local like goat farm creamery. We shared a charcuterie board. You guys, it was a beautiful Sunday. And although we were out at like 11 a.m., girl, it was so hot. I was like ripping paper towels off and shoving them into my bra because I was just dripping sweat everywhere. I also realize I love the charm of a Midwestern city. There's something about the charm of a Midwestern city that I think a lot of people from overseas realized when they came and visited Kansas City for the World Cup, which is, baby, we will hold you hostage and we will just chat and yap and yap and chat. And we are so welcoming and we are so inviting and we will talk your ear off and we're just here for a good time and like making connections and just like living and loving. And there was this lady working at the barn doing all the admin work at the farm, and she was just chit-chatting about the local tea. Oh my god, this guy hit my car at this party, and then, you know, he's like, we'll pay for it, and then didn't, and this was in the 80s. Like, I was so funny. I just love the way that we interact with each other, and it's genuinely so charming because my ass will sit there and listen to the full story. Like, baby, tell me more. What else is going on? What is the other tea going on? It's so funny, and I feel like it's something you miss maybe in more eastern cities where people are a little bit more like self-focused, and that's kind of like in a safety thing and also just like in a numbers thing. There's so many people, it's just like, let me just focus on myself, let me not smile at every stranger that passes me by. Or in the western cities where it's kind of the same but opposite, you know what I mean? It's more so like dissociative, if anything. And so yeah, that was really nice, very grounding. It was a very grounding Sunday, which I needed. I also spent a lot of time out with the horses this week before it got so hot, which was so nice. I learned how to lunge and do some liberty work with Zena. My trainer does liberty training with horses and dogs. She mainly trains dogs, but she does horses on the side, make a little extra moolah. And so she taught me how to lunge, which is essentially just like me and this horse alone in a round pen, and getting her to listen to just my body language and energy, which is genuinely so fucking cool. Like, what do you mean I can like telepathically tell this horse what to do, and also with my shoulder movements how to move, and I can get her to trot, to canter, to listen to me, and to be like happy to listen to me. It felt like so confidence boosting. Like, damn, I really did that. It was so nice. And then she was like, I have a trail ride later if you want to just like go get coffee or something, and then you can come and do the trail ride with me. So I spent like 9 hours out at the barn that day. I got there for feeding, we had our lesson, and then me and her went and got coffee at this cute little place called Cowboy Coffee, chit-chatted for a little bit, and then went back and I did an hour-long trail riding session. It was just a lot of like outdoor country activities for Hannah, which was very much so like feet in the dirt, toes planted down, which I needed because I feel like recently I've been a little airheady, and not in like a negative way, more so in a I'm trying to ignore what's in front of me kind of way. I'm trying to ignore the situations I put myself in and hope it just figures itself out, which is like a major issue I've had all of my life. This is something that I've constantly dealt with, and I don't know, maybe my parents just didn't teach me a lot of problem solving when I was a kid, or maybe I just felt like the need to not disappoint. Like, I never want to disappoint people. I never wanted to disappoint my parents when I was younger, and so I have a hard time making hard decisions, like dropping out of school. It was like I knew I needed to do it, but it was just like eating me alive. And then finally I just broke down one day. I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. Or like, think breakups, like it's eating me alive. Oh my god, I just can't do it anymore. Like, randomly on a fucking Tuesday, it's done, you know? And so I'm just like finding myself in another position where it's like, bitch, are you gonna choose the life you want to live, or are you gonna sit here and think about it? You know, it's going to take a hard decision to choose yourself. Choosing yourself is always a hard decision, especially when you're like a people pleaser, or you don't like to disappoint, or you don't, you know, want to ruffle feathers, or just simply put, change the situation you're in. Choosing yourself can feel like self-abandonment, but once you make it through the hard part of just like jumping off the high dive of that decision, you really are able to kind of look back and realize, this was the right one. I did the hard thing, choosing myself, and it was so worth it. It is worth it every single time. And I think I'm going to have to just kind of jump off the high dive again this time around and realize it is worth it. So yeah, Mama was going through it. So there was no vlog this week. I do greatly apologize. Thank you guys so much for also being patient. I feel like we have such an amazing community here where it's like, if I take a week off, which I don't from the podcast, because the podcast is my own personal mental health podcast. It's like, if I miss a week, actually someone call the police to do a wellness check on me. I'm at the point nowadays where it's like, I have to do this for my own sanity. I'm not even kidding. The vlogs is like, that's kind of just like a fun little kiki. But I'm so sorry I missed this week. I will be back this week. Don't worry. If you have any vlog recommendations or things you want to see from me, things you're curious about, let me know down below. I am always taking recommendations, but I'm just trying to kind of get back into the routine of things, settle my nervous system, ground myself, and usher myself into this new era of life that I have been talking about for a long time. It's like, bitch, it's going to start when you choose for it to start, but it's not going to start on its own. T. But anyways, if I really look back on the week, fantastic. My own self-inflicted suffering, not great. But once again, self-inflicted. So I do have a choice in the matter, and I fear I can't choose it anymore. So with that being said, let's ignore our problems together. Just kidding. But let's get into your guys' questions. Let's waste no more time because you guys have a lot on your minds. Oh, I guess we can talk Saturn retrograde. So Mercury retrograde just ended. Mercury retrograde was in the sign of Cancer. Mercury also is the planet of communication. Think technology, think travel, think the way we speak and talk to each other. I personally was not heavily affected by Mercury retrograde. It actually felt like the lead up to what was going to happen, which was Saturn retrograde. Mercury retrograde was pretty chill for me. If you had a bad Mercury retrograde, you know, it happens to the best of us. I'm so sorry. At least we're out of it. Congratulations, you made it. But some themes you might have seen popping up is just like heightened emotions, random shit going wrong, feeling like you can't catch a break, miscommunication, maybe some breakups, maybe some confusing love energy, things like that. I don't know if you guys tap into any astrologers. I feel like there's been a astrology kind of back and forth recently where some astrologers are like, this is about karma, this is about people getting what they deserve, and I just don't see it that way. I don't believe Saturn interacts that way. Saturn is the planet of discipline, structure, and karma. So when she's retrograding, she's kind of making us rethink over all of these themes, okay? Like kind of go back in the files and ask ourselves, like, to take accountability, to really kind of look inward, to focus on these areas in our life where maybe we haven't had enough discipline, or we haven't had enough structure, or maybe karma's been coming after us, or maybe we've been seeking karma but we don't need to inflict it on our own. The thing with karma, I do believe in karma. Someone asked me that, do I believe in karma? And the thing is, I do, but also, I believe karma enacts itself in its own ways. We have no control over it. And I think trying to take karma into your own hands is a big, fat, massive waste of time. Because when you inflict pain, when you inflict suffering into someone else, you in turn will probably receive that back. Energy is all in exchange. So if you think someone's deserving of karma, you think someone's deserving of whatever the fuck they got coming for them, don't worry. It'll all work itself out. That's not what you need to be thinking about during this time. What you need to be thinking about, what Saturn in retrograde is making us reflect on, is, have we taken the time to organize our life, to structure our life in the way that we want to? Is the foundation we laid something that makes us feel comfortable, something that makes us feel safe? Themes that came up in this Cancer Mercury retrograde, which was like, do I feel safe at home? Whether home is in my head, home is physically, home is in my space, whatever it is, home is in my love life, home is in my family life. Do I feel safe? Do I feel cared? Do I feel nurtured for? These themes also translate over to Saturn retrograde, which is like, baby, you made your own bed. You're suffering, but maybe you kind of chose that suffering. You hate the situation, but did you put yourself in this situation? Are you trying to take yourself out of the situation? Are you making real changes towards betterment? So there might be a lot of internal conflict going on. Also, alternatively, if you are like, actually, no, I love where I'm at. I love where I'm at. I love what I'm doing. I love where I am. I love my love life. I love my family life. I love my situation. I love my home. This might be a time of like real honest peace and clarity and like good times. Not all retrogrades are going to affect everybody. Of course, they all affect everybody differently based on where Saturn is in your chart, the house and the sign. You can look at that whenever you look it up. If you're also curious where to look up your sign, your star chart, I personally don't use any of the apps. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the apps. I use astro.cafeastrology.com. And that will give you a free natal chart report, which will give you all the information on your natal chart. They also have transit chart calculators. So if you really are curious what you're going through, you can put in the date and time of when you're born, as well as the current day of whatever you want to look up. And it'll tell you how your planets are transiting, how they might affect you. Let me read you, and this is not sponsored, but let me read you maybe what I'm going through, because I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm like, baby, I feel it. I feel it. The transit chart calculator is on horoscopes.astro-seek.com. I'm also going to go ahead and make a astrology post in the Patreon with my reference links. So if you are curious, if you do want the links, join. You'll be able to find them there. So yeah, I currently am going through a long-term Saturn transit in the 12th house. Transit Saturn in this house forces you to face your deep-rooted fears and blocks. It marks the end of a cycle and may initially bring disillusionment and dissatisfaction. To master it successfully, you must submerge deep in your psyche and face your inner demons. This can mean removing things and people to which you are attached to and releasing irrational fears. It is essential for your future development and personal growth. In addition, there will be a great sense of relief and you will be mentally prepared for Saturn to transit through the first house and start a new cycle. If you are unable to cope with this process yourself, consider attending therapy. You know what, T? To escape this transformation would not be wise, and you could face the consequences. Your fears will get worse and unhealthy habits may deepen and become even more destructive. Oop. Anyways, yeah, so if you want a little taste of what I'm going through, or if you're curious to see, how this might affect you, those are kind of the resources I use for my own astrology, but that's kind of what you can mentally prepare for. Have you taken adequate steps to making sure you are living the life you want to live? If not, you are going to be plagued by the desire to do so, and also the realization that maybe you've made the wrong choice. If you've made the right choice, don't worry, shit will go smooth for you. But it's so funny. I feel like I have such a hold on my emotional stability that the Cancer retrograde didn't really affect me too much. Cancer Mercury retrograde didn't affect me too much because it's like, I'm Gemini, I'm ruled by Mercury. I can handle a Mercury retrograde no problem. But the Saturn retrograde, I was like, ooh, this is a little different. This is hitting me a little different, a little wildly. So, baby, just hold on. Just hold on. Do the best you can. I love you. Let's smoke a bowl. Oh, also, you guys, Canna Style. You guys know I did the Fairy Bong collab with Canna Style. Well, they released new fairy bongs, not in collaboration with me, but I love Canna Style so much. I will always ride for them. I love them down. They make the best pieces, the most gorgeous pieces, the most functional pieces, and I'm so glad to have collabed with them in the past. They did reach out to me. They're like, hey, we love the fairy bong so much. We want to make our own little version. So they made a new one with new wings and a new colorway, but they got my permission first, and also so sweet. They didn't have to do me, but they also do this for me, but they paid me some money too to be like, thank you for your permission. Bitch, they didn't even have to ask for my permission or pay me. So please, if you want a fairy bong, go support them. No, it's not in collaboration, but truly a fairy bong is like the most magical thing ever to smoke out of. So if you're curious in getting one, that's where you can find them. I think they just dropped them last week. But yes, not in collaboration, in permission with, and in love with, for sure though. So with that being said, let me rip this shit and let's have a little laugh and get into your questions. Okay. All right. What to do when it feels like the universe is punishing you? You know what? Can I say something? Maybe the universe isn't punishing you. Maybe the universe is wanting you to open up your fucking eyes. I find when I'm specifically targeted by the universe, whether it's shit going wrong or random little miscommunications, or I feel like you can't catch a break, or it's damn, why am I being targeted? Sometimes it's the universe being wake the fuck up. Wake up. I've given you good things to wake up. You've just taken them and eaten them and moved on with your life. Maybe it's time for me to give you some bad things, okay? Maybe it's time for me to give you some bad things to make you open your eyes, to make you look at your situation, to make you go, Do I want to do this? Do I want to be here? Is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? You know, maybe we need to switch some things up. Maybe we need to like really just open our fucking third eye to the situation we're in. Okay. Sometimes it takes bad things happening for that to really, really occur in your life. Let me give you an example, an exact example of how the universe does this. Okay. My last breakup. Are you ready? My last breakup, I it was like, bitch, it should have been done. It should have been done. And it's just, I'm impossible at breaking up with people. So I just like sit and suffer. But my last breakup, it was like me going over to his house at 3 a.m. after getting off art school, after doing all of this like insane artwork that I've been doing, building sculptures like in the studio late at night. And then he's like, come over, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, of course I want to appease him. So I'm driving 30, 45 minutes to his house. But also I'm like at an age where my parents are like, hey, not super comfortable with you staying there. I think I was like, what, 19? You know, not super comfortable with you staying there. If it's like the safest option, if you're like fucked up, yes, do so. But if it's just like another night, just come home. And so I knew that in the back of my head. And I don't know, we had gone to a big, massive bullshit fight per usual. And it was like, I'm not staying here. This sucks. I'm going home. I have class at 8 a.m. And you guys have heard this story before, but I'm driving home 3:30 in the morning and I'm driving around in the highways in Missouri. They just get really desolate, and so there's not always lights on the highways, and it was like a dark patch of the highway around a really sharp corner, and there was a police car parked in a lane, no lights on. Yep, hit the back of the police car going 75 miles an hour. It was because a cattle truck had fallen over on the highway above us. Yes, you've heard the story. Cows falling out of the sky, literally raining cows, hit a police car. I'm awoken to being like, I'm like slumped over in my car seat because I hit the steering wheel so hard from going 75 miles an hour into a parked vehicle, into a brick wall practically. Okay. He's unbuckling me. He's pulling me out of the car. He's shining a light in my face like, are you okay? Are you alive? He literally, I awaken. He's like, oh my God, you should not be alive right now. That is the sentence I woke up to. You should not be alive right now. Huh? I'm standing up. They call an ambulance for me. The ambulance is like checking me over. I like fucked up my ankle real bad, fucked up my face real bad, broke my nose, practically like sprained my ankle. Shout out to Doc Martens. They're the only reason why I didn't break the fuck out of my ankles. Because they have enough leather on the ankles that it held my ankle in place. Crazy. And they're like, we need to take you to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like the adrenaline was so crazy. I was like, nah, babe, I'm fine. I should have gone to the hospital. Keep in mind, I was like 15 minutes away from my ex's house, and I was calling. I was like, hey, can you come pick me up? Like, I'm on the highway. I don't know like what the fuck's going on, but all I know is I should be dead, ? And he is upset that he is having to come pick me up, even though there was just a massive horrible crash. He's like, I don't want to, I can't even get over there. The whole highway shut off. How the fuck am I gonna? To the point where I was like, you know what, motherfucker? You can stay home, okay? Who cares if your girlfriend's dead? You can stay home. I'm gonna ride home with the police officer. Yes, the police officer, not the one I hit, but he was pissed. I totaled that fucking car. Different police officer, like the police chief, whatever. He ends up driving me home, 45 minutes home. And I'm like stumbling out of the car, like, thank you, sir. Thanks. Yeah. I get home. I go to class, and I show up to class, and my professor's like, damn, I had a hard time getting here this morning because there was like a huge accident last night that was just like completely shut down the whole highway up until like 8 a.m. this morning. And I was like, oh yeah, I was there. I was a part of that. Yeah. And then it just like ramped into me being so debilitatingly like in pain, like swollen black, broken ankle, on crutches, no car, having to drive my grandpa's car, face fucked up because I smashed it into a steering wheel. You know, I'm at like a funeral or something with my ex. It's like I'm coming out of consciousness. This past memory. I'm coming out of consciousness. I'm at a funeral with my ex and his family, and his dad's like making fun of me for the situation I was in. Like, can you believe that happened? Ha 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 ha. And it's like, I'm still dizzy a week later from how hard my head hit the steering wheel. And I remember looking around and I was like, oh my God, everything's going wrong. I'm so out of place right now. I actually hate this situation so much. And it took the universe putting me in such a shitty fucking position for me to open my eyes and go, damn, I'm actually choosing to be here right now, and I think I need to get the fuck up out of here. I think I need to run as fast as my little broken ankle can carry me. I think I gotta go. 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 Did I leave right then? No, but I pretty sure I left like that week. We had like some explosive fight that I was just like, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. I can't do this anymore. I'm literally going clinically insane. It's over. And it did take the universe just shoving my fucking head into the dirt about 1,000,000 times to be like, do you want to learn this lesson the easy way, or do you want to learn this lesson the hard way? Because the thing is, you don't have to learn lessons the hard way. Some people think, and maybe this is a me problem, maybe I am some people. Some people think like you must suffer to learn, but in fact, if you receive the message the first time it comes, you can learn without needing to suffer. You don't have to keep receiving the message, keep knowing what you're needing to do, keep like suffering and forcing suffering on you, or like just like dwelling. You can just go, actually, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to take the steps accordingly, so then I don't suffer from the universe. So then the universe doesn't make me suffer in order to learn. Okay? Because it will. It will. You're going to wake up one way or another, and it's either going to be on your own accord the first time you have that fight, or in a totaled car getting unbuckled by a police officer going, you should be dead right now. It's like, damn, I did not have to put myself there. Did not have to put myself there. And so, yeah, sometimes when you face like, you're like, I'm not God's strongest soldier. Sometimes when you're facing like a bunch of issues, it really is just the universe going like, pause, shit's bad, reflect on where you are, ask yourself what you need to do, and move forward accordingly. Do not keep ignoring the problems. In fact, it will put you in a place that will make it so you cannot keep ignoring your problems. Eventually, you're gonna have to face them. And that's why they say when it rains, it pours. Sometimes that first raindrop, you don't learn to go inside until it is storming and hailing and the sirens are going off, and you're like, maybe I should get into the basement. You know what I mean? So always, there's a lesson in everything. Truly, there's a lesson in everything, but it is just like, when do you want to learn your lesson? Also, sometimes just bad shit happens, but it is a great time to be like, you know what, let's take care of ourselves. Let's regroup. Let's refocus. Let's, ground ourselves a little bit in the situation, ask ourselves what we can do for ourselves to make this better, and then move forward accordingly. Okay. You can't just continue suffering. Unfortunately, when you do face problems, that is when you have to solve them. Yes. I'm convinced. Math. Bitch, do you know math? Girl. Yes, I know math. I'm convinced, like, in school, the reason they make you do so much, like, bullshit math equations is for you to learn how to problem solve. Like, you're like, how does this address to the real world, trying to figure out how many apples are in this bale if you remove this square foot of, it's like, why the fuck am I going to be counting apples? It's like, no, it's not about counting apples. It's about, if you are able to see a very complex problem and do your best to try and solve it, or are you going to give up on the equation? That's really what I'm convinced math is about, because baby, me and math, I was not good at math in school. Me and art, yes, that was the best. Language arts, yes. Science, I could finesse until I got to the math. But me and all my math teachers had beef for literally no reason. It was like actually a problem. And it was because I'm bad at seeing through problems. I really am. I see a problem and I'm very quick to be like, I don't want to deal with that. I give up. I'm not learning it. And if you are in math, if you are in an algebra class, if you are in a calculus class, whatever it may be, and you want to rip your hair out, just know it's kind of meant for you to get frustrated. But the real lesson is in you learning how to solve it. And it will translate to your adulthood, I promise. You will. If you see out those math equations in high school and you figure it out and you solve it, you will have an easier time solving real life problems as they approach you without needing to reach peak suffering in order to desire betterness for yourself. Yeah. Anyways, the weeds are really hitting.
Okay, hey, Dave. Okay, I'm kind of nervous. I'm gonna take a booger. Okay. So, basically, to give you context, I was like really close friends with this girl starting freshman year of college, and I'm a senior now, and we like had this like really big blowout like last fall, but up until then we were like two peas in a motherfucking pod, like best friends. We did everything together, we got along really well, we all like the same shit, we were in the same friend group. But she did me really fucking dirty. And I'd be sitting here for years explaining to you all the ways that she did me dirty, but long story short, she did me really fucking dirty. But it's been some time now, and I like still find myself like missing her, even though I don't want to. So, okay, this is really long, but basically I'm kind of like, how do I stop missing her even though she did me dirty? Like, there's definitely no chance of us like being friends ever again, and I don't really, like, I know in my heart of hearts that I don't want to be friends again, but I do miss her like a lot. So how do I not do that?
Oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's so hard. Okay, so I've been done dirty by friends in the past, and of course you're gonna miss them. You're gonna miss what you had. You're gonna miss that connection. You're gonna miss like your friend. That's so normal. Even in relationships, when you break up, you're gonna miss the good times, but sometimes those bad times or bad time outweighs the good times, and you really have to realize, like, you know what? I have to protect my peace. I have to do what's best for me. I have to focus on me because this is an untrustworthy person in my life. And remind yourself a little bit of like why you left in the first place, you know? And it's normal to miss them. I think whenever you have like moments of, I miss this person, I miss this thing, I miss this place, I miss this time, you must give appreciation. And I know that seems opposite of what you probably want to do because you're pissed off about what she did to you, but you must go, you know what? We had a good time together, and I'm thankful for the positive times. I'm thankful for that laugh we shared. I'm thankful for that moment we shared. We had a fabulous time together while we could, but I understand where I am now. You know, I think a little appreciation goes a long way because sometimes people are in our life for seasons, and you must appreciate that season as it comes and let go when you need to let go. And obviously you've done so, and I'm proud of you for knowing what you deserve and that you deserve better. But it's okay to also go, like, you don't have to blow everything up. You know, you don't have to hate her completely. It's okay to go, you know what? We did have some fabulous times together, and I am appreciative of the good times we did share because they were honestly really so good. It's okay to also tell yourself that while simultaneously going, but I know I don't deserve to be treated this way. And I know she fucked up, and I need time. I need space. Now, on the flip side, I know you guys can't reconcile, but I do believe in reconciliation. The older I get, the less scorched earth I am. I think when you probably listen to this podcast back a long time ago, it'd be like, cut them off and forget they ever fucking existed. Never reach back out. Never have them around you ever again. And like, yeah, sure. Maybe during that time, definitely it's what you need to do to protect yourself. But I do believe in reconciliation. I do believe that, you know, sometimes people need time away to grow, to change, to then come back together. I think that there's just so much truth in it, but you must put yourself first, number one, first priority. I met this like earth angel the other week. I think I told you guys about her. I don't know. We were just having a key. It was late at night at the restaurant, and she was friends with the owner, and she was just like, I love running into badass older women. And she wasn't even older. When I say older, you probably think like 60, 70. When I say older, sometimes I just mean older than me currently. Like that could be 30, that could be 40. She was probably like 40, 42, 38, 42, somewhere in that range. Never gonna ask anybody their age, duh. But she was just like drunk as fuck, giving like the most heartfelt conversation ever to me that I like didn't even ask for, but I was like, I'm gonna sit my happy ass down and listen. I'm gonna open my ears and listen. And she was like, we got into talking about horses, and she's talking about being young, and just like she should have followed her intuition more, just like should have ran away and lived her best horse life and worked on a ranch. She was putting me in touch with ranch owners. She was like, you should just go do it, you should live your life, you're young, get out there before you settle down, like just like don't worry about anything, don't worry about a boyfriend, don't worry about friends, just like go and live your most positive life ever. And she was like, you know what? If you pick yourself, everything will always happen for the right reason. She's like, even in our relationship, she pointed to her husband. She's like, baby, I broke up with him. She's like, I broke up with him. We spent 10 years apart. He got engaged to another girl. I got engaged. I said no to the engagement. We fell apart. Like we were in multiple relationships in the in-between, and still we ended up coming back together. Everything happens for a reason, but at the end of the day, if you want things to go correctly the way that you want it to go, no matter how it plays out, you must choose yourself. You must choose yourself. You must always uplift yourself in your choices. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna go roll some silverware now. Like, damn, bitch, really preaching to the choir here. Like, definitely heard. But like, it's true, But I think putting yourself first, number one, is the best way to set yourself up for success. And if you guys are able to reconcile in the future, cool, fabulous, amazing. That's not something you should be prioritizing right now. Right now, it's kind of just like appreciation for what it was, but understanding for what it is now. And that will give you a full, well-rounded idea of just, it'll help you settle in your emotions instead of feeling that bipolar, and probably not the best way to use that word, but like back and forth of like, but it was good, but it was bad, but it was good, but it was bad. It's like you find yourself in the middle where it's like both can be true at the same time. But what's most important right now is to think about what you need in your life and to go forward with that. So, yeah, I love you. I'm sorry. Friendship breakups are so hard. Breakups are hard. Breakups in any sort of relationship are very difficult and hard. But I'm proud of you for doing what needs to be done. Anxiety hits me the hardest at night. How do you calm it down? Honestly, get off that damn phone. Get off that damn phone. I know you guys know that, but I think there's something that switches in the algorithm when it knows it's nighttime, where it starts feeding you what I consider schizophrenic style like videos. And I'm so happy I've really limited my screen time recently, because it doesn't give me enough time to consume so much where it also makes me feel like I'm going insane every night. It's like I see one and I'm like, ooh, I know what's happening. I got to put the phone down. But at night, the way that the messaging in the videos you are getting switches is insane. I don't understand. I'm still learning so much about algorithms, especially like working hand in hand with social media. And I kind of see it the same way gambling does, or not gambling, stocks is to men. The algorithm is to me. It's so interesting how they change it, when they change it, why they change it. And right now, especially with TikTok, a lot of it is about like fear and manipulation. And so I'll notice like in the morning, if I get on TikTok, it'll be a lot of astrology videos, things like that, just like what's coming with your day, blah, blah, blah. And of course I've trained it that way. Duh. Yours might not be. A lot of farm videos, horsies, cute little kitty cats, like love, so good, good vibes for today. And then it's 3 a.m. and I'm scrolling and it's like recent murder, local law enforcement, bad things, my story with a sociopath. Here's some random weird AI videos that are very much so not good. Here's a horrible nightmare inducing story time. And it's like, babe, you gotta get off the phone. You gotta get off the phone. The anxiety is gonna get worse. You're gonna feel worse about yourself. It's gonna be horrible and awful. Another great way to really calm down your anxiety at night is have a good wind down routine. My wind down routine includes my past one was probably like the most anxiety inducing wind down routine. You want to hear it? It would be like shower, go to bed with wet hair that is unbrushed, okay, in dirty sheets, lights out, no light in my house, no lights at all, and then 3 hours of the most nightmare inducing TikToks you could possibly find. Yeah, no wonder my anxiety was on 10. Hello. Now, keep in mind, I'm also ripping the dab pen. Like, wow. Oh my God, girl, stand up. Now, okay, now that I forced myself to take time to work on this, my wind down routine is okay, long shower, 8 different really good smelly soaps, okay, really good conditioner. I get out of the shower, I put on a really thick body lotion, a deep hair conditioner, I brush it out. Sometimes I will dry my hair so I'm not going to bed with wet hair. I started changing my sheets 2 times a week. So every time I crawl into bed, it is like crisp and warm and beautiful and lovely. You know what else has helped my anxiety? Night lights. I know this sounds crazy. I am literally a 27-year-old woman. But being in a home can be very terrifying. Even in your room can be very terrifying with all the lights off. Like naturally our, prey minds are like something's going to eat me out here. So a cute little nightlight, cute little plug-in, a little something in the room across from you to just ease your anxieties a little bit. And then a really good TV show, like a calming TV show. Everybody has their like go-to, I've seen this a million times kind of TV show that's just soothing. This is crazy. Mine range from different ones, but American Dad, Futurama, and Parks and Rec. Those 3, and sometimes It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but that can be anxiety inducing in its own sort of way. But those shows are my go-to. Just like I've seen this a million times, let me put it on in the background and just zonk out. That's the best way for your body to kind of wind down, calm down. And I put my phone away much, much earlier. If I'm going to like want to stay up, I force myself to read a book, read some poetry, even like a Substack article, whatever it is, I don't care. But reading, it'll help slow your brain down. It'll help slow your body down. Maybe even lighting a candle as you lay in bed. Blow it out, okay? But those things have really, really helped me have a good, calming, soothing, non-anxiety inducing evening. All right. And also like not so much weed. I love a little weed evening, weed nights, absolutely, but like I don't need to be eating an edible every night and going on that journey. Talk about anxiety inducing. Maybe every once in a while. Maybe like fun little Friday nights, fun little Sunday nights, Boots mama, can I get a boots? That's my vibe of the week. What's yours? Mine is we have a full moon coming up. I'm just hanging on. I'm doing my best. Baby, it is boots. That's my vibe. Like a little nervous boots, I'll tell you what. And also the full moon write-up. I need to do some more research before I speak on it, but the full moon write-up will be up on the Patreon this week. Don't you worry. I must prepare the girls adequately. Oh no. I feel like my boyfriend obviously checks out other women in public often in all caps, baby. What? How do I talk to him about it, please? There's no talking. There's no talking. I think lustful men are some of the most untrustworthy men on the planet, and the last thing you need to be dating is a lustful man. And this sounds like, baby, we're at church. It sounds like I should be in a turtleneck, giving a preach, a service, a sermon, whatever the word is, about staying truthful in your marriage and staying one to God. No, I like genuinely believe a lustful man is an untrustworthy man. A lustful man is someone who doesn't have control on impulses. A lustful man is someone who is unable to see women as human beings. And those 3 things make that person inherently dangerous. This is why people also say, pick-me girls can be very, very dangerous. Those are lustful women. Those are women who will put you aside to uplift a man. Those are women who will, maybe put you in dangerous positions in order to get to a man. This is women who will also like maybe settle for men that are unsafe because they're a man. You see, it's like 2 sides of the same coin. And I will speak equally on men and women, but since we're focusing on men here and men checking out women in public, it is like my biggest ick. and there's no conversation. The only conversation you can have with yourself is A, do I want to be with a man who visibly is staring at other women in front of me because he is that lustful of an individual that he is unable to let women exist in public? And is that something I'm willing to settle for? No, I know it's not. I know it's not what you want. Or B, am I going to go find a normal freaking human being who's not going to do that? Because there are normal men out there. There are men who will not be doing any of those things. I promise you. Okay. I mean, I guess you can have a conversation where you call him out on his bullshit. Like, it's weird that you are doing this and, you know, like staring at women in public. It makes me feel like A, B, C, and D. But I don't think that's going to change anything. I really don't. I think it's going to make him hide it more until he feels comfortable enough to do it again. But I don't think it's going to change anything. And in fact, I think you got to run. And I know, easier said than done. But if you want the real advice, it's get the fuck up out of there as fast as you possibly can. And on your way out, tell him why you're doing it. Tell him, hey, the way you see women is very weird and awkward. And I'm sure this probably extends to other parts of your life. I'm sure there's other problems you're having with him and women. It's not just the checking out women in public. I know it's not me going through the files of your brain right now, but usually one thing is a symptom of another with this kind of behavior. And yeah, not safe, not good, not trustworthy. And if you're going to have a relationship, the first thing it needs to be built on is, well, chemistry. And the second thing is trust. I would say trust over chemistry any single day. You got to have both, though. You got to have both. If there's no trust, there's no relationship. And I stand on that. Are you into submissive men at all? Oh my God, wait. Does this guy listen to my podcast? If you're listening to my podcast, let me know. I doubt you are, but this man has been in my DMs. I'm not even kidding, for like a year now, asking me if he can be a submissive man to me. Okay, let me be honest. For the girls, I'm not into submissive men. And not that they don't deserve a place, okay? Submissive men deserve love too. But I just am like not dommy mommy vibes in the bedroom. I'm dommy mommy in the real world. Okay, so the bedroom is my escape. The bedroom is me not being that. But I'll do it for a paycheck, I'll tell you that. I could be dommy mommy for a paycheck. That's how I feel doing all of my work. So why not? But I had to share that. I was like, jump scare. Wait, submissive men. No, yeah, I don't know. And I feel like submissive men are more common than you would think, especially in the bedroom, because I mean the same like hyper independence I feel in the real world makes me want to escape that in the bedroom. And I think a lot of men also feel that way in the bedroom, where it's like they are constantly having to behave in a certain manner that is very like alpha dog level. Some of them, some not, you know, there's complications to everything. So of course they want to escape that in the bedroom and be a little bit more submissive. And like, I don't blame them, you know, it makes sense. Everybody has their kinks, everybody has their desires. Everybody has their things that make them get off safely. But yeah, no, I just am not like I'm not a dommy mommy in the bedroom, unfortunately. Unfortunately not in my extracurricular vibes. The extracurricular way.
Hi, Hannah. So I actually watched one of your episodes from 2021. It was your third one about tolerance. And it's funny how these things pop up when they do, because you were talking about tolerance and how sometimes you need to take a break and build yourself up. I had a bad experience recently, and I've just been done since then because I'm such a lightweight. And then your most recent episode that I watched right after that was talking about how sometimes you need to burn everything in your life down. And I also did the same thing, quit my job, decided everything needed to change. And I just think it's so funny and coincidental how things work like that. Do you see patterns like that happening in your life too? And is there anything that I should do to like change things? I feel like I'm a little bit reckless with my decision making.
Honestly, I'm not reckless in my decision making. I ponder and I ponder and I ponder until there's like, I've thought of everything and actually my brain hurts. I think sometimes recklessness can help and hurt. First of all, you have the confidence to make hard choices and make that leap. So that is wonderful. Oh my God. Literally this weekend I was talking to my coworker, my friend, and I was just going over where I was, and I was like, I don't know, baby, I think I just need to take the L. And she was like, maybe it's an L as in leap. Maybe it's an L as in leap. I was like, oh, damn, I really need to switch my mind frame immediately. You're so right. L as in leap. I have a hard time taking that leap. So I want to say props to you for knowing what you want and what you need and taking that leap. But I think sometimes people who act before thinking sometimes finds themselves in tricky situations. And I think the best way to slow down and think about what's best for yourself and not make risky decisions is to make, and I know this seems so fucking simple, but to make a pros and cons list. Pros and cons lists were the best way when I was reckless, when I was younger, when I was just like balls to the wall, fucking insane. I started forcing myself to slow down and make pros and cons lists. Well, now it's like, baby, I've made so many fucking pros and cons lists. There's no more pros and cons lists to make. It's like, I need to be brave like you and start making just jumps, just start making leaps, start making just decisions, good or bad. Just make decisions, period, point blank. It's time for some movement to get going. So I'm proud of you for getting movement going and making decisions in your life and choosing kind of what's best for you. But now to really slow down and maybe think through your decisions, the best way you can do that is really pros and cons list. Or another way is visualizing where you want to be in a year and writing all that down and seeing how that coincides with the life you're living now. What choices are you making now that maybe future you wouldn't agree on? What things can you enact that future you does that you can put into practice now? It's a great way to slow down, think, adjust, and figure out, you know, before you just like blow up in people's faces, you know? A little planning goes a long way. A lot of planning keeps you stagnant. That's for sure. So yeah, mama's going to be brave and make some leaps, some bounds and leaps. But when it comes to coincidences, okay, thoughts on coincidences? I love a coincidence. I'll tell you what, I love a coincidence because it's like coincidences, deja vu, moments where you're like, I've been here before. What's going on? You know, this feels very familiar. This feels very weird. This is a strange coincidence. I love coincidences because I feel like it's the universe showing you you're on the right path. You know, it feels correct to you or it feels familiar to you because you're supposed to be there. You know, you feel like you've been here before because you're supposed to have been there before. You know what I mean? So I love a coincidence. I love when I get deja vu. I love when I'm getting deja vu often. I feel like when I don't get deja vu often or I haven't had it in a while, it's like, uh-oh, let me look around. Let me check and make sure I'm doing things correctly. Let me make changes accordingly. But I feel like if you're feeling like you have a lot of coincidences going on, if you have a lot of deja vu, if you have a lot of I've been here kind of moment, it does have to do with you just simply being in the right place right now. Like you are where you're supposed to be. Your future you know, the life that she's walked where she's supposed to be, you are stepping into her footsteps, like on the sandy beach. And you are now, you know, becoming one. And I think that's beautiful. I think it's lovely. I think it is a wonderful feeling, and I am realizing I haven't felt it in a while. So I'll let you know the next time I have a deja vu moment. What are some ways to get to know yourself and who you're becoming in your 20s? I think there's some key things that you can definitely do that I think are very, very positive and maybe not easy steps, but worthwhile steps in your life. Number one is travel. Travel is so important. Travel is amazing. Travel, especially to other countries, I think is very important, or to places, cities that you want to live, that you want to move to. Travel is the best way to really broaden your perspective, open up your heart to what it is to be a human, to be alive, to romanticize life, to experience life, and to gain new perspectives. I think travel is incredibly underrated, and it's a main reason why I have a goal of mine where I need to travel somewhere every year. Every single year, I travel somewhere, maybe 2 places, who knows where I go, but whether it's an Airbnb in my own state, whether it's the state next to us, whether it's the other side of the country, whether it's a different country, whether it's a 15-hour flight, every single year I travel somewhere new. It always teaches me something, whether about resilience of self, you know, working through problems, meeting new people, broadening horizons, eating new food. That's probably the best part of travel. But travel is so important, especially when you're in your 20s, to really develop a well-rounded view of yourself and self-identity. Number 2 is, if you can, and this kind of goes hand in hand with traveling, is move. pack up your shit, move, start your life all over. It is the best way to get to know yourself. And I mean, don't do this until you are pretty confident in where you want to go. Like, don't just up and move to a random city that you're like, I'm just changing being miserable here to being miserable in a new miserable place. It's like, do your research, take your time, maybe wait till your mid-20s to do this. You don't have to do this in your early 20s. Just whenever you feel comfortable and you feel confident in where you want to go, do it. Absolutely do it. It is so worthwhile. Talk about resilience, talk about strength, talk starting from the ground up. It is so nice also to kind of like release ties and have this freedom and this air of freedom in your life, especially in your 20s. It's hard to do in your later 20s and early 30s. So it's very worthwhile to do it in your mid 20s or early 20s if you can, before you have so many roots in the ground. I would say definitely the sooner the better, but do your research, maybe travel a little bit to the cities you want to try out and then go from there. All right. Number 3 is stay single if you can. If you really want to learn about yourself, if you really want to do the work, if you really want to develop a full, well-rounded identity, stay single. I know. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved and in love and relationships. And like, yes, absolutely. I'm such a relationship girl. Like, I feel just like so, even if it's like the worst relationship ever, it's like, I can't help it. I'm a relationship girly. And I think it does hold me back. Whether the relationship is good or bad, there's something to learn from it always. But if you can kind of like ignore the noise and really, really set some hard boundaries in your love life and like don't fucking settle. Like, if one thing is wrong, if it's feeling off, if it's not feeling correct, if it's not feeling how you think your future wife or husband is going to be, then you move on with your life. You don't settle for bullshit, qualities or things that you don't want to carry with you for the rest of your life. Like, having a partner is having baggage. I think a lot of people don't talk about this enough, where it's like, you can choose the baggage of what you want your partner to be. Okay. Every single partner comes with baggage. If it's the best partner in the world, maybe it's just a carry-on. Maybe it's just a backpack. You throw it on. There's a couple little childhood traumas in there. Nothing crazy. Maybe some bad spending habits, but nothing insane. Just a cute little carry-on little duffel bag. Easy peasy. You can throw it above your head. No problem. Some relationships, it's, 18 suitcases. And they're all bursting open at the seams. And they're falling apart on the fucking airport floor. And you're having to pick it all up and zip it all back together. And, oh my God, I have so much to pull around. I'm making like 8 trips. I had to bring 3 cars to get all this baggage to the airport to carry it around. Like, you be careful with the partner you pick. Every single partner comes with baggage. Choose your baggage wisely. All right, baby. Relationships are a very easy way to also not be like, what am I looking for to say? To ignore yourself. Relationships are a very easy way to kind of like live someone else's life so you don't have to live your own. So if you can be brave, really hold strong boundaries, wait until you find the right person for you, or leave whenever you're brave enough. That's probably the best thing you can do. But staying single will open you to way more connections. It'll open you to way more possibilities. It'll give you the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. You're probably going to make way more friendships and build a better social circle. I highly recommend staying single if you can. And when you do find the right person, if you commit to staying single, when you do find the right person, it'll fit like a puzzle piece. It'll be beautiful. The baggage won't be too much. It'll work out. I'm not saying you have to, give up love. I don't want you to give up love. If the right person comes along, baby, give it your all. That's for sure. But you can be a little picky. And I encourage you to be very fucking picky. Another one is try hobbies. In your 20s, I think it's very important to start picking up new hobbies. You have to look at life as one big, like, when you're going to sign up for classes, like high school classes, and you have all of the different, like, the activities list, okay? You can do art, you can do ceramics, you can do theater, you can do welding, you can do woodworking, you can do weightlifting, you can do a teacher's aide, you can work in the library, you can help the secretaries, you can work in the office, you can do this, you have to look at life as a catalog of those choices. And when you're signing up for school, say they make you pick 3, okay? Now look at the catalog of life and pick 3 and try them. That's what you need to be doing in your 20s. Maybe you start with one, then you have enough time, you add on another. The other one doesn't work out, you replace it, you know what I mean? But you need to be trying hobbies and actively trying new things in your life. And they can look like many different things. For me, horseback riding, art class, ceramics, going to live drawing sessions, helping out on farms, volunteering time. Maybe it's you work at the Renaissance Festival for a little bit. Maybe it's you work here for a little bit. Maybe it's you're a barista in the mornings and the weekends. Maybe it's you're trying knitting, you're trying pottery, you're trying ceramics, you're selling vintage, you go thrifting for fun, you try Muay Thai, you try boxing, you start going to the gym, you become a swimmer, you become a high diver, you start painting, you start collectibles, you start I'm like, there's so many different options, like so many different things you can do in this life, and all of them are very different, but all of them should feed into what you are curious about and what makes you feel grounded, what makes you feel well-rounded as an individual. Okay, maybe you have some anger issues. Maybe you have some energy that you need to fucking burn off. Let's get you in the gym. Let's get you in a boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo class. All right, let's burn off that energy. Maybe you work a very, very hard physical labor job. Let's get you into reading. All right, let's get you into reading, into relaxing, into escaping, into healthy escapism. Maybe you don't do anything. Like maybe you need some self-confidence. Let's get you into horses. That's what mine was about. It was like, I have no self-confidence. I have none. Oh my God. Like I need to learn how to escape my mind and be in my body and be present and be grounded. Horses were fantastic for that. It's something that I think I can never give up now, even though I only started it almost a year ago, like not even a year ago. It's something I will take with me until I die because it's changed my life so much. It's given me so much just like confidence and life lessons that I never would have learned unless I put myself out there. You have to be doing hobbies, at least 3. Okay, start with one. Start with one. If you have nothing, start with one. Work your way up. And I don't care how fucking nerdy they are. I don't care if the only book you can pick up is a fairy smut, dick down, crazy style book. At least you're reading. At least you're reading. I don't care. I don't care if you are the nerdiest fucking human on the planet. I love you for that. Okay, make your little models and paint them. I'm obsessed. Like, yes, get into Dungeons and Dragons. That is so fabulous. I genuinely believe having hobbies and having interests is like the sexiest thing you can do. And it's the best thing also for conversations when you're in that awkward 20s phase when people are like, so what are you doing with your life? And it's like, how do I answer this? 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 I would hate going to family events. I would hate going to social circles. I would hate doing all of this because it was like I had no answers, and I had no answers because I was doing nothing with my life. It's like, what do I tell them? I post on Instagram and I fucking work as a server part-time. Like that's kind of boring. That's kind of boring. No one's curious about that. So now I have different answers. I'm a painter. I ride horses. I have my own horse. I'm very into the equestrian lifestyle now. I have things to brag about because it's actually not even bragging. It's just my special interest. It really is my special interest. You gotta get into hobbies. And that's about it. I feel like those are some pretty good, solid, like big advice I can give you if you need to build an identity, if you have no idea who you are, if you are soul searching. Where must we go? We who wander the ends of this earth in search of our better selves. Baby, you gotta push yourself out of your comfort zone. You do. I know it's cozy and comfy doing nothing all the time, but we gotta do something sometimes. All right. Travel, move, change your environments, break up, get together, stay single, and please, for the love of God, get some hobbies. Okay, this is a longer one, but I feel like this is a good one. Also, if you're ever interested in submitting longer questions, you can always just DM me, or on the Patreon. Every single question I answer on the Patreon is about this long. I think you can fill out upwards of like 4 paragraphs on the Patreon. And it's really nice actually getting a bunch of details. So here we go. Hey, Hannah, I really hope you include this in your next pod episode. Don't worry, baby, because I could really use the advice. So I've always been kind of a loner, even in high school. I struggled to make friends and often ate lunch alone or hid in the bathroom. I've been told I have a great personality, but I just don't really think I input enough effort into socializing, even though people really do brighten my day and make me happy. Now that I've been out of high school for 2 years, I still haven't made friends. I mostly just go to the gym, go to the beach by myself. I always tell myself it's okay to go out and alone and I can meet people there, but it never happens. And then I feel disappointed when I go places because I imagine people will fall out of the sky to meet me. My dating life has been the same way. I never dated in high school and haven't had any opportunities after either. I really want to make friends and start going on dates. I thought about downloading Hinge, but I just feel a bit embarrassed to do it. Do you think dating app can help me socialize and possibly meet someone? Or should I just wait to meet someone in person? Most people my age meet someone through social media, but I don't really see that as an option for me because I prefer not to post online. Okay. So and this is going to be tough love, but baby, we all need it sometimes. You cannot expect for people to approach you or for you to meet people when you have built up a wall around yourself. And that's what you've done. Maybe not intentionally, but maybe to protect yourself, and it's turned into a barrier. You refuse to talk to people. You refuse to put yourself out there. You refuse to try and make connections, to sit with people at school. It's okay. You know, we all get that awkward phase. We all get that loner phase. That's all right. But now you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to get yourself out of it. And it's going to take effort. It is. You wanting to jump right into dating, especially after not being able to even make friendships or connections, is going to put you in a situation that I think you're going to settle for. So I do not think you should jump right into dating. I think the first steps you should make is just like saying hi or going to a bar and holding a conversation with a bartender. And this could be like for lunch. I'm talking at a restaurant. Just go sit at the bar by yourself holding a conversation with a bartender. They're literally paid to stand there and talk to you. Okay. Just try and do that first. You have to slowly start integrating yourself into socializing again. So then you feel well-rounded as an individual. You can make connections. You can make friendships. You can build relationships. You know how to interact with like people socially so you don't settle for others. And you feel more confident in yourself. All right. You got to start just like slowly integrating yourself back into reality. And I had to do this myself. I actually entered a phase a couple years ago where I like really was just inside. Baby, I was inside as inside as you possibly could be. And then I got so socially awkward that I like was so afraid to even just go out in public, to run an errand, to get my groceries, to go grab coffee. It was like, no, it must come to me. I must DoorDash it. I must Instacart it, whatever it is. It's like I was so isolated and it was so unhealthy for me. And I realized how unhealthy it was for me. And I knew, shit ain't changing because I'm not changing. And the only way for me to feel comfortable in like public again is for me to start interacting and socializing in public. So I started small. I started simply by just going to the grocery store, allowing myself to be perceived, saying hi to the security guard, talking with the cashier, talking with a random person in an aisle. All right. Then I worked my way up to maybe reaching out to old friends, reaching out to people I'm curious in, you know, hitting up random friends to go do something. Then it built up into more and more and more. You see what I'm saying? And if you need to force yourself to be social, take a class. If you're like, I do not have the confidence to go out in public and start speaking with someone randomly in public, take a class. I don't care what class it is. It could be anything. It could be a simple one-time jewelry making class. It could be a series of classes where you're learning something. It could be a weekly class, a physical workout class, a yoga class, whatever it is. Take a class. It'll force you to socialize. You will have to introduce yourself or whatever. You'll have to at least talk to the instructor. Hi, bye, thank you, whatever. Take a class. That is the best way to get back into the world socially. But you've built a wall around yourself and you can't expect people to approach a wall. Okay. This is something that I see constantly out in public. I'll see people, like if I go to a club, I like to look around at clubs. I like to watch people watch at clubs. And I'll see people like standing around and you could tell that they're wanting people to approach them, but they're unwilling to kind of release that wall. And they have like almost this energetic shield up, and people feel that. people feel that energetic shield, that energetic wall, and they also like will respect that boundary and not approach you. Okay, if you feel unapproachable, they won't approach you. So you have to work on kind of slowly lowering that wall, slowly starting to believe in yourself, slowly starting to really trust yourself and feel confident in yourself, and naturally you will become an approachable person. I'm a very approachable person in public. Baby, there's no wall. There ain't no wall, that's for sure. People will come up and yap my ear off, and you know what? I love it. Some of the best, most like cathartic conversations I've had are like with random strangers in public. Random fucking people being like, when I was your age, I was blah, blah, blah. And baby, just go off, live your best life. And it's like, whoa, okay. You know what? Period. You know, like, it is so worthwhile. I mean, of course, like, pay attention. Don't put yourself in sketchy situations. But I used to be someone with a wall, and I'm so proud of myself for deconstructing that wall, because I thought it would make me feel safer, but in fact, it made me feel more isolated. Okay? And you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be loved. You do have a fantastic personality. You do have a wonderful cadence to yourself. You are gorgeous and beautiful, and you deserve to be seen and loved and held by the world. You have to be brave enough to put yourself out there, though. Start small, work your way up. But I do not think you should jump right into dating. I think you're going to put yourself maybe into some sticky situations because you don't have the social wherewithal to read signs. And I think that is tricky. So start with like simple interactions in public, and then work your way up to dating.
Hey Hannah, I've been listening to the pod for about a year and a half now, and it really has just been such a positive experience for me listening to the pod. I mean, it's such a strong community, and listening to the pod is really grounding for me. Like, sometimes when I feel, you know, like out of control or like lost, just listening to the pod really like comforts me, gives me direction. So like, I really appreciate what you do, and I just wanted some advice with like summer and body image. I know you have made, like, you've discussed it a few times, but you have such a cute vibe. You curate the cutest freaking outfits. You wear like these dresses and you post yourself in bikinis, but you also post recipes and you like show off your cute little drinks and these like delicious looking meals. And I was just kind of wondering what the mentality is when you do these things, how you approach, you know, feeling confident in yourself and like displaying yourself to other people and not worrying so much about how you appear physically, you know? Sorry if I was talking fast, and I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much.
Everything probably, it looks like it's just falling into place, but that's social media. That's social media. You don't see the behind the scenes where it's like, I need to film a cooking video and I need to find an outfit to match, and I'm trying on different outfits and I don't feel good in this one, or like I'm wearing this tight ass dress making a drink and I can barely breathe in the dress. It's so hot in my kitchen. Like, I don't think you see maybe the performance behind it, but there is performance behind it. Sometimes not so much. Like on some other posts, it depends here and there. But like, yeah, if I'm posing for an Instagram picture, I'm like, you know, I'm like pushing out, sticking out. I'm making sure I have a good outfit on. I'm making sure I look good. If the pictures don't come out good, I'm taking more pictures. Like, I think and I definitely like curate that vibe of an air of this is just what's happening in my life and it's beautiful and lovely. But is that my every single day? No, not at all. You know, I really am just a girl, and some days it's like I look a fucking mess, hair not combed, breaking out, oversized t-shirt on, no underwear, like stomping around my house. Like sometimes that is what it is. And maybe I don't show that side of myself so much because of course on Instagram we don't share that sides of ourselves, but maybe I need to do more of it. Maybe I need to be a real girl and share more of that, like, you know, the duality that there is to life, because there always is. Like I said, Instagram is not reality, but there is a part of like the Instagram, what I share on Instagram, that is me. It's probably like me at my best self. What I share on Instagram is me feeling the most confident, feeling the most put together, feeling good and great, and like beautiful outfit, wonderful personality, great recipe, this, that, good caption. Like it all comes into place, and that is very intentional. It takes time, it takes effort. You know, doing this hair, baby, this takes a good hour. Maybe I just threw on a slip dress, sure, but this was a slip dress that I took time like going and thrifting and have had for a while. You know, I think the best way for me to also come off confident, and it's because I am confident, and put together, or like I have this, you look at me and you think of a certain sense of self, is because I do know who I am. I will say that I do know who I am. I know very much so what I like and what I dislike. And I think that's what makes people look well put together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid to share myself, because when I am on Instagram, and what I am sharing on Instagram is myself. Maybe it's my best version of myself, my highest version of myself, but nonetheless, it is myself. It's that other duality. And I think to really understand who you are, you just got to get creative with it. You got to explore avenues. You got to wear a bad outfit to understand what a good outfit feels like. You know, you got to wear too tight of a shirt to realize what a actual well-fitting shirt feels like. You got to wear a certain color to realize what colors you do like, certain fabric, certain whatever. You have to try new hairstyles to see what actually works with you. Try new makeup styles to see what you feel called to. And a lot of this starts with just inspiration. Other baddies, other hot girls, other people that I'm seeing and what they're doing, and pulling inspiration from that. I don't want to become that person, but I'm finding inspiration because I want to implement it in my own life. You know, remove the connotation of jealousy by just taking that inspiration and pulling it into your own life. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'm posting in bikinis. I'm posting in cute dresses. I'm posting my life. But I don't think you see the background of, am I getting the right picture? Am I in the right pose? Is my belly sticking out too much? Is my butt all wrinkled? Like, whatever, you know? And if it is, who cares? You know, we just move on. We do something else. We try something else. We switch it up. You know, human bodies are going to be weird and awkward and smelly and have stretch marks and have acne and have this and have that. And that's okay. That's something I give myself a lot of grace for. I think when you hyperfixate too much on your body, it is like a waste of brain space. And that's easier said than done always. But it's something that I will constantly tell myself, which is just like, it's not worth thinking about right now. But what is worth thinking about is, maybe, do I feel comfortable? Not in your skin, maybe the outfit you're in. Does the bikini fit well? Are you in a place you feel comfortable wearing this? Do you feel like you're showing your best self to the world, and in turn you feel your best self? That's kind of how I go about it. And I feel like it does translate in this era of like confident, bad bitch, well put together, good sense of style, because that is me showing up as my best self. But like I said, you don't see me as my worst self often. You know, a mess, a hot mess, looking a mess. I don't show up as that often because, of course, you know, I do like to keep a part of myself private. But yeah, Instagram versus reality for real. You know, you can't compare other people's Instagram lives to your life. All you can do is find inspiration and try and implement it in your own. And a lot of me being my best self is just showing up as my most well put together, confident self. It does make me feel good. It does make me feel lovely, hair curled. Maybe I don't have mascara on or eyeliner, but I feel like a cute little princess in her fun little pink slip dress. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot for me to feel like the ultimate Hannah, but a little effort does go a long way. And not effort on focusing on your body, effort on comfortability in self. My boyfriend cheated on me. He's doing all the right steps to correct his behavior. No. Nope. And once again, I know, easier said than done. But if your partner, I am very, very, very quick about this. If your partner ever cheats on you, you have no option other than to leave. If you stay, you will suffer. You will. You're going to suffer. And I hate to be like the bearer of bad news here, but even if he corrects his behavior, says he's sorry, buys you that diamond ring, buys you 100 stem rose bouquet, like he's on his hands and knees sobbing on the floor. He's so sad. He cheated on you. He didn't mean to do it. His grandma died. He just couldn't help himself. Nope. When people make mistakes, they have to learn from those mistakes. And the only way for them to learn from those mistakes is to face consequences from those mistakes. And you giving him the cold shoulder, bitching him out, whatever, is not going to help him learn from those mistakes, because you're taking him back. You're saying, yeah, you did something wrong, but it's okay. I'm still going to stay. The only way for them to learn from their mistakes is for you to go, and you know what? I know I deserve better and I'm stepping away. I know. I know it's the last thing you want to do. I know you love this man. I know you want him in your life forever. I know like you had this imagined fairy tale idea of what it was, but now you are sitting with the reality of what it is. And baby, you must plant those feet firmly in reality and go, do I deserve this? Or, big or, do I simply want a partner that's not going to cheat on me? And dare I say, the bare fucking minimum is a partner you can trust. Bare minimum. That is the bare minimum you deserve in a relationship. And this is not a partner you can trust. They've broken your trust and it will be broken forever. You might think it'll be fixed and then a bit flashback will come. You might think it'll be good and then you're going to have this like gut feeling just drop in your stomach of like, he really did this. It is something that will never leave your mind because your body is trying to protect you. Your mind is trying to protect you from it happening again. You have to leave when they cheat. Otherwise, you are doomed to suffer forever. And are you going to suffer at the hands of someone else forever? That is no way to live. You have to leave. There's no other choice. There's no fixing it he can do. There is none. There is none. Honestly, I think like the best thing someone can do for their partner if they cheat is leave. Okay, because of course the other person wants to be with them. They want to fix it. They want to blah, 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 blah. Like, of course, you're blindsided. You have no idea what to do. If someone cheats, like, and I don't think cheating is punishable crime of death. You know, like, people make mistakes. People do bad things. That doesn't mean you should take them back. Like I said, they must learn their lesson. But that is something that you should not put up with. I think that is a no-go in relationships. Like I said, trust is the bare minimum, and there's no trust here. None at all. And there's no way he will be able to ever build it back. That's one of those things where it's like, if you take a piece of string and you cut it in front of you, there's no way for you to reattach every single fiber and make it a whole well-rounded string again. It's going to be weak. You're going to see that patch. If you pull too hard, it might break again. Like, there's no way for you to put it back together. For you, for him, whatever. You have to be strong. You have to leave. I know. I'm so sorry, but it is what it is. My boyfriend has been feeling down from working hard. Any ideas on how to cheer him up? My question is, if you were down, would he cheer you up? And if the answer is yes, then I have some answers for you. If the answer is no, then baby, don't do anything. Anyways, sorry, projection. Honestly, here's my top ways to make a hardworking partner. Okay, this goes beyond male, female, whatever, just partner in general, maybe friend, maybe roommate, whatever it is, feel seen or heard if they're having a hard time. Well, if it's romantic, number one, baby, some head. Post shower, post work, some head. It goes a long way. I'm not even kidding. Pleasure is important in relationships. Sex is important in relationships. It is. If you guys are unable to blow off steam together from a stressful fucking day, then what's the point? Like, genuinely, unless the sex is just not important to you, then cool. But yeah, the number one way to like give to your partner, some head. Hello. After a stressful day, the number one thing I want is my pussy ate. Let's be fucking honest. Let's be honest. Number two, I want a good ass meal. And this is something you can do for anybody. My favorite way to really treat someone to a meal is, and this is like my love language, I love feeding people, I love showing up for people, I love making people's favorite foods, and I listen attentively when people are talking about their childhood or what they ate or like memories about meals, about their favorite meal, the favorite thing their mom used to cook, their grandma, whatever. I listen attentively about that when it comes to anybody in my life, so I know whenever they're having a hard time what to make them. And so my partner, like, his number one thing is like homemade like white people tacos, which is just like very simple ground beef, salsa, cheese, lettuce, but there was a very specific way his mom used to make it growing up. And so I literally called her one day and I was like, he's having the worst day ever. Can you give me the recipe to your family's homemade salsa? And also, can you tell me where you buy your tortillas and exactly what you season the meat with and all this stuff? And I surprised him. He came home, homemade, his favorite tacos, exactly how he wanted. all the toppings, everything, including his family like heirloom salsa recipe, which was genuinely very simple. Homemade guacamole, everything. Everything. It was probably the best way you could ever surprise somebody ever, especially after a hard day. A good meal, a good nostalgic, like heartwarming meal. There's a reason they call like some food soul food, because it like really is feeding your soul. It's feeding this like nostalgic aspect of your soul. So yeah, that would probably be my top 2 ways to show up for somebody in your life. If it's romantic, baby, burn off some steam in the bedroom. If it's platonic and romantic, a fabulous meal, something that really feeds their soul, feeds their mind, feeds their body, and makes them fully relax. Those are my top 2 ways. I don't know, I'm a Midwest girl. That's all I know about pleasure is good sex and good fucking food. That's for sure. But with that being said, we have come to the end of our episode. You guys, I love you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay strong. Full moon coming up. Don't lose your fucking mind, or do. Make smart decisions. That's all I really can say. If you want to know more about the full moon and what to expect, join Patreon, patreon.com/smokestash shorty. I'll have that right up probably tomorrow. Also, extra episode every single week where I answer every single one of your questions. I'm not even kidding. Every single one. I love hearing from you guys. I love the Patreon girlies. Know they have a special place in my heart. I'm so sorry, but we really get a deep dive and I really get to be honest over there. So it is a key. If you are looking for one or to know more about the drama in my life, baby, that's where to find it. The vlog this week, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it's gonna be, but it will be something. That'll be up on Hannah Marlene 444 on YouTube. And if you want to submit your question or see more from me, I went peach picking, got some cute peach picking photos. I'm going to make a bunch of peach recipes with all the peaches I have. That'll be up on Instagram at Hannah Marlene. You can also submit your call in there. I've realized the problem with the call in thing. Since I have a business account, every single message goes into my business message. So I just have to accept you guys into my general message. So if you want to submit a call in, just be like, hey girl, I have a call in. I'll accept you in and you'll be able to submit it then. Don't you worry, but I'd love to hear your beautiful voices. I love connecting deeper in this way, and it really is just the ultimate vibe. Thank you guys for the distraction I needed. Hopefully I provided you with one as well. Maybe I'll have some updates for you guys next week. But stay sane. Stay sane. Stay sexy. And I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.